All right, welcome. We are here again. A little offshoot of the Waddell Show podcast, or not really, but you're here on WWA YouTube, and I am sitting here with Cortland Moore and
Howdy,
Logan Legit.
Hello.
And what we're doing here is we're going to do another watch along, sort of like Ray and I just did to our ladder match from several years ago, but this match is a lot more recent. And Logan, do you want to tell people what we're getting ready to watch? Because you're already walking ringside here.
I know. It's my very first match, and I was so incredibly nervous. Well, not during my entrance, though, but right before I came out there.
I was going to say, you don't look nervous at all.
Listen, I thought I was going to pass out, but when I entered through the curtain, and I think people were like, I think they really liked my gear, so I just instantly felt really nice.
So, Logan, this is your first match.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about the nerves. Tell me what it means.
I think I was really nervous because, like, I didn't want to have your, like, typical just get my ass whipped manager's match. I wanted to go out there and show that it was important to me to perform.
So what about
well,
that situation? Tyler Hawkins holding the rope open for you, and you go under the rope.
I notice that every time I watch it. I didn't know that he did that.
Tyler holding the
me.
ropes open, as it should be. Just
trying
kidding,
to
I
be
love Tyler.
Now, you realize I'm getting ready to come out, and Logan, you already knew ahead of time that I'm going to be your opponent. We got to talk over the match a little bit. Were you comfortable with me as your opponent, or did you sort of hope that, or were you still nervous? Did it matter that I was your opponent?
It helps me a lot because, I don't know, I felt really comfortable with you.
It's one of those things, too, Logan, where for a first match to be in there with Chris is one of the best guys that we have on the roster. So it is an immediate learning experience that you're going to take away nothing but good things with being in the ring with him first.
Yeah.
Now, Cortland, who composed this theme song?
The guys over at Backburner Audio, I don't know what happened to them. They haven't been, you changed your music and they just kind of fell off the face of the earth.
Notice that cannon right there, little scantily clad little mermaid.
I do,
Yeah. I do miss this music, but I got to tell you that 3 music really gets me hyped too.
During your entrance is when I started to think, oh my God, this is happening. And it felt like an eternity.
Now, we intentionally put you in the Evansville Coliseum because you're from Evansville. But the Evansville Coliseum is also where we're going to draw just a little bit larger crowd than we draw other venues. So it's like you are in front of quite a few people.
Yeah.
That being said, this show didn't have any outside star power. This is all WWA people here at Grave Consequences.
Yep.
This is also my first time getting to see this match, so I'm really excited to see what went down because this was during a period of time where I kind of took a little sabbatical for some health reasons. So it's going to be really good to actually see this because I've actually heard you guys talk about this match quite a lot and about how much fun it was.
This was one of my favorite entrances that I used to do, pointing at each side of the crowd.
Yeah, I know this song.
What are you going to do it?
No, I'm definitely not doing that.
Logan has a way of singing my song where he's obviously there are no lyrics to it, so it's just.
I'm remembering that I wasn't even like an official trainee for this. Like I didn't have very many training sessions.
No, I think the objective was you were a manager, obviously, and you were going to transition into wrestling. But we found this opportunity to incorporate this into the storyline, and so we did. And you got that gear quick too. Tell us a little bit about that gear, where it came from, how much you love it.
Main Event did my gear, and it's just look at it. It's beautiful. Well, I can remember telling you, kind of when I first started, I was like, now listen, if you ever get an idea to put me in a match, you give me a little bit of a notice because I am not going out there in your usual just all black. I wanted to come out there in some flashy gear. So
now I'm wearing your glasses right here. Don't you think they fit me better?
I was actually about to ask if those were his glasses that you were wearing. Because I'm used to you in the aviators or the Macho Man glasses. So to see you in some different sunglasses immediately draws my attention.
So your thought here is to stall?
Yeah. I had to get in my stretching. I didn't get the chance to.
Very
do much of it.
flexible.
Yeah. Look how proud Tyler is of me.
He looks like he doesn't care.
Yeah. Now this was, I don't know why it makes me laugh. I don't know why I did that.
Spoiler alert, this match has already lasted longer than Cortland versus CCW from the First Blood event.
I'd be willing to bet that Logan feels like he's going to vomit also, though.
Oh, I had cotton mouth so bad right here.
So all this, in the world of wrestling, what we're doing here is we're just working it, filling out the crowd, filling each other out. This is how, Logan's drawing a little heat off the crowd this way. People pay to see wrestlers mess around with them, but they don't pay to see wrestlers just fumble around like this. So this definitely draws the ire of some of the fans in attendance. And you had quite a few that were here to watch you also, right?
Yeah, a lot of my friends showed up that night, and I don't know, it just felt really good.
I'm going to immediately point out that the thing I love so far is Logan being a smaller guy and actually cowering away and running away and doing dirty little stuff like that, because in this day and age in pro wrestling, it seems like everybody wants to wrestle like a big guy. Mm-hmm. They want to do power moves, they want to flip, and they want to fly, they want to do everything, and nobody really wants to play their role and capitalize on the best that they can. And Logan's always been really good at playing that small guy that's always able to kind of, draw the anger from the fans simply by just almost doing nothing.
I agree with that in two separate ways. I think the little guys. We have an announcement being made. And what's happening here, Josh says that Tyler told Josh that Tyler is willing to replace you in the match. Of course, we don't allow that to happen.
They did not
I tend to think that big wrestlers want to wrestle like smaller wrestlers, and I think that little wrestlers are so set on trying to be perceived as serious guys. They're not doing what they need to do to draw heat, especially the heels. But I've always told Logan, I thought, based on your size, you're going to need to take to the air and fly a little bit. Tell me about that flip into the ring.
I don't remember how many times we practiced that, but I was so scared I was going to get hung up. I just wanted to look okay with it. And then here's my crab walk.
The crab walk into... I love that you waited. The referee almost turned and saw you, and you waited.
And I saw that, and I was like, all right, that might look weird, but...
Well, no, you can't let the referee catch you low-blowing a guy.
Oh, my favorite thing is taunting you out there.
So at this point, Logan, you're still a manager, right? Like full-time manager?
Yes. It wasn't even discussed for me to, wrestle at all. Oh, God.
So...
How many times did we try that? I was so scared.
And what was the problem with the boot? Because I can remember you would fall too soon.
I would bump like a whole 2 feet before it. Because, everything that we did here is literally my first time doing it. Besides taking bumps, but as far as moves and stuff, I've never done any of that until then.
I couldn't imagine you being afraid of running into someone's foot.
It is definitely something that does take getting used to, though. If you really stop to think about it, you don't want to get hit. You said it a couple weeks ago on the podcast. You don't want to get hit, but so it's almost naturally instinctual to avoid it.
And there's so many elements of pro wrestling too. It's like that for sure. You don't want to get hit, so you avoid it. Your reaction is to guard yourself. Let's watch this real quick.
Yes.
There it is. So
you made it look so beautiful.
The Chris Waddell My Back Hurts tour made a stop in it.
I can tell you right now, I've never had a problem bumping flat on my back. It's that godforsaking leg drop. So what was happening here?
Look at Tyler Hawkins getting in some shots here, cheating.
We knew that Logan had to pull off some spectacular stuff, and so that was one of those relatively simple things you can do, but still the audience appreciates.
I wanted to do a cross body from the top there.
Look at that ass. I will say that one of the things that
Logan's?
is really difficult for wrestlers to get used to is just falling as well. So it's not a matter of just taking hits, just falling. A lot of people think that taking bumps is easy. It's really not normal.
I got to say, between you and Jordan Whitaker, you two are the best at just absolutely getting your asses handed to you and eliciting that emotion from the fans.
That's one of my favorite little submissions ever. Like, the minute I saw someone do that move, it was kind of like, if I ever wrestle, I have to do that move. I don't know. I just love that.
And in that particular occasion, you got me in the move and you released in order just to slap your ass. And you called an audible on that one?
What do you mean?
You called an audible. You did that out of nowhere?
Big chop.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I was in the position to do it. Oh, my God. My first chops ever. Before we went out, I remember Josiah yelling to you, don't go easy on him. And I kind of looked back and you gave him this look and I thought, oh my God, he's going to concave my chest.
Tyler got the double there. He got one of Chris's chops and he had to take a bump on the hardest part of the ring.
Ray's throwing a fit right now. The hardest part of the ring's the middle of the ring. There is no bounce or give or I want to say bounce, but there's no give whatsoever in the side of the ring. It sucks. The center of the ring sucks too, trust me. Now, this is a good shot from Logan here because I was actually out of place. Logan reached at my shirt and pulled me back to where I needed to be. And what do you call this move?
It's a little tribute to Miss GoDaddy herself, if you know who I'm talking about. Let me show you what love is.
Candace Michelle.
Uh-huh.
Okay, all right.
Oh, I felt so bad right there. That little girl kept saying, I love your hair, Logan. And I heard her, but when I turned around and said, shut up, I was just trying to stir the people up, and I think I really broke her heart.
But you're a bad guy, so.
I know.
To be your first match, Logan, I have to say, just the small stuff you're doing in between. You're throwing those kicks to Chris, but you're smacking your ass, and, you're showing off to the crowd. That's stuff that, people that have been doing it a lot longer than you still have trouble with getting. It's those little small things like that that's subtle that people still, and myself included, have trouble doing.
Right here at this move, watch me go for the pin and look at my face. That right there is the moment I knew what blown up meant.
So you were blown up at this
point.
point.
Oh my God. It was so bad. I thought, we don't have much longer. Okay.
And this would have been summertime, so it would have been a little warm there in the Coliseum.
Mm-hmm. And oh God, you can watch the fans' faces when I give you those strikes because you don't move.
Well, you know what I like about these strikes is you are a manager. To me, in this day and age, you shouldn't be able to walk out there and know how to punch somebody. And I'm not selling them. It's not affecting me at all, as you can tell.
I don't know why I got nervous.
Look at
to
this
give you
look.
that little
If
slap.
looks could kill,
Uh-huh.
you'd be a dead man.
So look, we're just friends, all right? I'm sorry, I take it back.
I've always enjoyed this spot. The first time this spot was used, I wrestled Ray and Jeremy Gray, the top draw, and we did the same spot where you had to, in order to get one person into the ring and the other person out, you do that little...
You did that with me and Alexander Knight as well in 2013 at the Final Countdown Part 1.
I got scared I was going to have a wardrobe malfunction on that because I got caught up on the rope.
So out of the whole match, Logan, before we get too far into it here, what was your favorite? What was your favorite part? Was it the chops?
Okay, so the chops did not feel good at all, but I love crowds' reactions, and at that moment, they wanted to see me just get lit up, and I loved that.
Did Tyler Hawkins owe you money on that power bomb?
I did not love this.
And this is it right here. Match, it was a short match, but
that was my 4th power bomb that day.
Probably the most rewarding one.
Probably the one that you were the most excited to take at that.
You could see me right after I take the bump. You just see my face. I felt it for
As a
sure.
first match goes, Logan, I am absolutely impressed, especially to be a manager at this point. I know how it is. It's a weird transition to be a manager into a wrestler. I have to say, You did a very, very good job.
Well, I want my rematch.
You know, at this point in time, the fans are chanting one more time, and I don't know how scared you were that, that one more time was coming.
Surely you weren't going to do it.
Oh, I'm going to leave you be.
Yeah.
So if you had to rate your own match, now don't be too modest here, 1 to 10, 10 being the best, what do you give your performance?
I don't know, like a 6 or 7. It's weird to me to rate my own match. All I know is I was really proud of it. I just wanted to perform for everyone and not have a botch fest, and I made it out of there with none of that. So.
JC, it was the first time that you saw Logan perform. How would you rate his performance?
You know what? Honestly, and I'm not saying this just because he's sitting right next to me, but to be a manager in that spot right there and to do what he did, I'm going to give him a solid 10 out of 10. He did an excellent job.
The music has stopped, and now we have this situation between you and Tyler we're not going to delve too much into. Gentlemen, I appreciate you joining me for this edition of the Watch Along. I hope you've had a good time. And Logan, you've had more matches that maybe we can break down some other time.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. We'll see you next time for Logan Legit and Cortland Moore. I'm CCW. We'll see you down the road.